Hello and welcome to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and I would like to thank you for taking the time to watch this content. This channel was designed for gaming news, reviews, and speculation amongst the gaming industry. I will be reviewing games for Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, as well as future content planned for PC at a later date. So, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more, and let's get started with the show. Did Sony lie to us? Or did desperate times call for desperate measures? Well, we now have confirmation that God of War and Gran Turismo 7 will both be launching on the PlayStation 4 day and date when they launch on PlayStation 5 in 2022. Yes, you heard that right. God of War has been pushed back to 2022. Honestly, it makes sense. If it costs Sony $100 million to make these games, what's another $5 million to port it back to PlayStation 4? PlayStation 4 already has a sizable install base of over 110 million consoles sold. So it does make sense to port these games backwards to the PlayStation 4, especially, you saw what God of War looked like on the PlayStation 4 Pro. It looked amazing. It was just as good of 4K as anything native 4K. Like, it looked good. So in order for them to, Gran Turismo 7, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I did not see that coming. I really did think that was a next-gen exclusive title only. But, we got to face facts. Sony is a business. They are in this to make money. This is not the Sony that you and I grew up with. This is a completely different entity from where we were when we started playing PlayStation in the first place. Now, I've been a PlayStation fan for well over 25 years, since the beginning since the beginning. So, but now I'm also older too. I understand, more about business and how things should work and why Sony would make a decision like this, even after coming out and telling you that they believe in generations and they believe in moving forward. And honestly, with Microsoft already doing it, in order to be a great leader, sometimes you have to learn how to follow so that you can lead. This isn't me minimizing or making excuses for Sony. This is me just accepting life and facts for what they really are. Sony is a corporation. Sony PlayStation is a product. It's a brand. That brand sells. If they've already got 100 million PlayStation 4s out there, and it costs them $100 million to make these next-gen experiences or these games, what's another $5 million to port it back to a PlayStation 4, especially right now when they're having problems, producing PlayStation 5s and getting them out there. The last estimates put the PlayStation 5 at right around 10 million units already sold to scalpers, so, they're going to have to make money off of these games somehow. And when they've only got, when only 5 people have got an actual PlayStation 5, it makes it harder to recoup those costs if all the PlayStation 5s are sitting in a scalper's basement. You understand what I'm saying. If you're one of the lucky few that has a PlayStation 5, you're probably excited to get one of these games. But we also learned today during that interview with Herman Holst that we might, Forbidden West might get pushed back, but they said it's still on track to launch this holiday season, when I was expecting this game toward the end of summer. The only thing we really have to look forward to right now on PlayStation 5 is Ratchet and Clank in 8 days. 8 freaking days and Ratchet and Clank will be out. And then we will not see anything until Kenya. And then after that, we don't know exactly if or when Forbidden West is going to come out, but we do know that game is cross-gen too. So the only next gen PlayStation 5 first party game that we have to look forward to is Ratchet and Clank. And basically, with the way that interview just went today, and Ben Studios coming out and saying that they're working on a brand new IP, their PlayStation is pretty much telling us that, hey man, we don't really have nothing lined up right now at the moment. Everything that we wanted to launch this year has been pushed to 2022. And if Ben Studios is just starting something, I mean, that leaves Naughty Dog. I mean, Naughty Dog just put out The Last of Us 2. Sucker Punch just put out Ghost of Tsushima last year. They're just barely a year after launching those two titles. We do still have, the possibility of Final Fantasy 16 coming out this year. We're definitely getting Final Fantasy 7 upgrade, here in a couple more days too. I think that's like 6 more days. But basically, aside from third-party games that are supposed to still launch, I mean, we should still be getting Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop this year. But those are end of the year as well. So basically, everybody that's been out there giving Xbox a hard time about Halo Infinite, how many heavy hitters on PlayStation have all been pushed to next year? I mean, at least we're getting Halo Infinite this year, but a lot of the games that we were expecting from Sony this year have been pushed to next year. And they didn't give us any date. I mean, they could launch as early as July or January, all the way through next year. They just said 2022, so that's not concrete. That's really nothing. Basically, like I said a minute ago, these are not the same companies that we grew up with when we were younger. These are completely different entities now. The competition is a lot more fierce now with the mobile market, with mobile cell phones and stuff like that. Creating these games takes time, and it costs money. So I personally feel like by this time next year, or by the end of the year next year, we will start seeing select PlayStation 5 games launch day and day on PC alongside the PlayStation 5. I know that that's going to make a lot of people upset, and a lot of people, are going to freak out there for a little while after that, but the sooner Sony rips that Band-Aid off, the better, That is good for the PC community. That's good for us. That's good for growth, period. If you like your console and you like your PlayStation 5 and you want it to continue, then Sony does need to identify and create new revenue streams to continue to produce these high quality, games for us. That's just something that has to be done. So if you're sitting there thinking right now, well, I'm done with Sony or whatever. I mean, we knew this day was coming after the success with Microsoft and PC and stuff like that. Sony's not dumb. They need to create new revenue streams to continue to push this medium forward. To be upset about that is pretty childish, and if you're a younger person, it's probably just mostly younger people that are going to be upset about this, but gosh, once you get older and you can afford to upgrade or buy both consoles or something like that, then you're basically at the precipice where you can afford to buy a PC, and that would be good for you if you were able to still enjoy and play the games that you loved on your PlayStation, now on your far superior or PC. How is that a bad thing? Most PC gamers, start on PC, but those of us, that do eventually move from, our consoles to a PC, are going to be able to still enjoy those experiences that we played when we were younger. And that is a good thing. That's a good thing for the industry. That's a good thing for you. That's a good thing for me. That's a good thing for everybody. If Sony's making money, Sony can continue to produce high quality products. If Sony's not making money, then Sony's going to have to cut something somewhere, whether that's the quality of the games they produce or the content, or they're going to have to keep taking or making sacrifices to other things, in the company. So I would personally expect by this time next year or by the end of next year that PlayStation 5 games will start to launch day and date on the PC platform alongside possible PlayStation 4 ports as well moving forward. Do I think that you should be mad about this? No, I don't. Do I think that Jim Ryan, should have been more upfront in the beginning? I don't. I believe Jim Ryan believed what he was saying was true at the time. And we're almost 7 months into this generation, and I still think that he wants to do that, but I don't think that he has really a choice anymore. And Jim Ryan is exactly the leader that PlayStation needs right now to get them through this, because when it comes down to it, everybody can just blame Jim Ryan as the evil man, but I feel like this isn't PlayStation's first rodeo. They've been doing this now for 5 generations. They took Nintendo, they put Nintendo in Nintendo's place. They basically pushed, Sega out of the market. Like, Sony's a pretty strong leader and they know what they're doing, so they're not as I don't think they're going to go down without a fight. So I would expect to see positive growth with PlayStation as we move forward. Yeah, there's going to be some fans that are going to be really upset about this, but in the end, like, this whole fanboy tribalism stuff is just stupid anyways. Like, seriously, if you like your PlayStation, buy your PlayStation. If you want to play Xbox games, play Xbox games. There's no reason for anybody that has the ability to go to work, make money, and buy their video games to sit and only confine themselves to one single experience. Because if you keep doing that, eventually you're going to get let down. I mean, like, PlayStation's let me down a few times. I mean, like, I'm not exactly thrilled with how this generation of PlayStation 5 has started. I mean, there's still things that I really want that I'm disappointed about. I'm disappointed that I haven't seen either Ratchet and Clank or Forbidden West in 60 FPS and what the visuals are going to look like. That's disappointing to me. I'm disappointed that I can't upgrade the SSD in my PlayStation 5 now. Like, it's almost been 7 months. Like, that is a disappointment to me. I'm disappointed that all of the games that were supposed to launch this year, the ones that I was really excited for, God of War, Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7, one of them's launching at the end of the year and the other 2 have been pushed to the next year. Like, I'm disappointed by that. I'm disappointed that Returnal was not what I expected it to be. The disappointments with Sony are starting to add up a little bit, but I still love my Sony first-party games, so I'm going to forgive them. I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to enjoy those games when they eventually do launch. There's definitely things to be disappointed about Microsoft for, too. Like, we have had no real next-gen exclusive for the Xbox Series X either. Microsoft was more upfront, though. They explained, hey, we're not going to make anything exclusive for the next couple of years. So that kind of bought them some time. They said that, hey, our main focus right now, is getting these games and making acquisitions and stuff like that and pushing Game Pass. There are some things to be disappointed with Microsoft about, but they are doing... They have provided far more value for my experience on the Xbox right now at this point than the PlayStation 5 has provided me. In terms of enhanced backward compatibility, Game Pass, features like Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. There are so many, like the ability to upgrade my storage day one on the Xbox Series X. There are so many things that the Xbox has given me that the PlayStation 5 hasn't, and then there's exclusive games for the PlayStation 5 that Xbox hasn't given me. So right now, I'm going to say, like, I still feel that Xbox has provided more value overall than the PlayStation 5, but the PlayStation 5 has, I don't know if I would necessarily call anything that's came out on PlayStation 5 yet a next gen experience, but they have delivered new games from PlayStation first party studios that can be I don't know if I can consider them next gen games because they do run at 4K 30, or upscale, like, you know what I mean? Like 4K 30 shouldn't even be the thing anymore. I wish they would move away from that. That's another thing that I'm disappointed in Sony for not trying to move forward and leave 4K 30 in the past and move forward and try to hit a reasonable 4K 60 FPS. But there are some good experiences on the PlayStation 5 that I already have had, and overall, I'm satisfied with my PlayStation 5 experience, but I would like there to be more. I mean, and that's the same with Xbox. Overall, I'm satisfied with both of my consoles. So I do want, that content to start dropping a lot sooner. And I think the big winner this year and overall is probably going to end up being Xbox, because they're going to surprise us, I think, at E3. I think they've got games that are ready to go that are going to be coming out, right after E3, in the months leading up to the holiday season. I would expect to see at least 2 games from Bethesda and maybe 3 games from Microsoft, first party studios. Definitely be looking for Playground Games. Definitely be looking at you're going to have Halo Infinite for sure. And then I would be looking, at, like Psychonauts 2. Well, that's not exactly, that's going to be on everything. So I definitely feel like Xbox is going to have a pretty good end of year for content. But as it sits right now, it looks like Sony's only going to be dropping some indie titles, Kenya, and possibly Forbidden West. I mean, that's still said. They say that's still on track, so it's possible that it's going to come out. So, I will see you in the next video. Thank you.